What's up, people? This is the Last Outlaws podcast. Thanks very much for tuning in for the very first episode. I'm Sean.
And my name is Nate, and I guess we're gonna do an introductory segment, which I'll get Sean to start off with. So give the listeners a description of yourself out there. You know what got you into anime, what got you into gaming.
Well, I think everyone had the kind of same introduction to anime with the whole late 90s, early 90s. It really started airing, well, in Ireland, it started airing in the late 90s, early 90s. The first anime I remember seeing was Cardcaptor Sakura. I think I was about 5 or something when that came out, and I was really mad into it. But at that point, I didn't really see it as anime. I just saw it as a TV show that was really fucking cool because 5-year-old Sean didn't understand. And then there's the obvious stuff that all came out when we were kids, like Pokemon, Beyblade, Yu-Gi-Oh. There was so many that came out at that time, and I always preferred that kind of style over the normal like Western cartoons that we had as well. You know what I mean? I always far preferred it. The fact that it was always a big adventure rather than some of the kind of the cartoons we had here on the dam was all like educational crap. You know what I mean? So I
think
always
with me,
far
my
preferred
first
it.
one was probably Pokemon. But I think I had the Game Boy and I had the game before the actual anime had came out, or before I'd actually watched it. So it was kind of weird. It wasn't kind of showed till later on in the day, like 4 or 5, on a channel called Sky One over here in Ireland and the UK. But I don't know, it did kind of confuse me because a lot of cartoons over here usually it's self-contained in one episode, and this was like a continuation, so that kind of got me interested. Then obviously, Pokemon was first, and a few years later, then there was like Yu-Gi-Oh, and there was Card Captors, then there was Digimon, and then I knew there was something different about it. I was like, the eyes are kind of weird, the animation style was a bit weird, and
Yeah.
just it was similar to comics where um, multiple episodes, multiple seasons with arcs and stuff like that. So that's kind of what got me into anime. But what made me an anime fan probably would have been Dragon Ball Z, like maybe about 5 years later.
Yeah, no, Dragon Ball Z was well, actually my first introduction to Dragon Ball Z was through the PS2 games, the Budokai games,
Yeah,
which were
I think
really strongly linked to a story anyway. And then I watched
yeah,
the series later on.
I think of me one of the days. I think Toonami was on, and I was watching a lot of Teen Titans, and it was kind of later on in the day. I think it was like the Boo saga, but the episode that I seen first is actually my favorite episode of all time in Dragon Ball Z. It's the episode where Goku goes Super Saiyan 3 for the first time
Oh, with that
when he's
charge up
fighting.
scene.
Yeah, when he's fighting Boo, and I was just sitting there drawing, and Teen Titans came on. Then the show came on. I was like, I really, really like this. And then I went to school the next day and started telling everyone about this new show I was watching, and I kept drawing it. And within a year or two, like Dragon Ball Z just became so popular.
It became huge here. Everyone had like, do you remember the school bags and lunch boxes and stuff like that? I think it was more
Yeah,
popular here even than like stuff like Naruto and stuff like that. They were still popular here, but never reached the same kind of peaks as Dragon Ball Z. But it is kind of like the king of shonen anime.
yeah. I think it wasn't as popular as Yu-Gi-Oh, Beyblade, or Digimon or anything like that because uh, they were just a different ball game altogether. But after kind of like that '90s hype kind of died down, in the kind of like the early 2000s when Dragon Ball Z kind of came out, there was a lot of people who weren't into anime that were fans of Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah,
But yeah, that just became like a huge thing. But that was the first time I knew that I was watching a Japanese cartoon. I didn't even know what anime was until a couple of years later. And I
yeah.
couldn't even pronounce it proper. I think I was calling it and no, I wasn't calling it anime. It was like anime or something like that, or like army or something. I was just like mispronouncing it like all hell. But then after kind of Dragon Ball Z, that's kind of what got me into more anime. Then obviously watching Dragon Ball Z online, there was all these like forums under some of the websites that kind of watch anime,
Yeah.
and that's when I found Naruto for the first time. And then from Naruto got into Death Note, and then from Death Note got into Bleach. But then that was all the popular stuff, and then from then I don't know, probably watched about 100 plus since.
Spiraled downwards into a pit of anime since that day, Nate.
Then the day I became a weeaboo.
I want to cut that bit out, man.
I'm a proud weeb. What about gaming? What got you into gaming?
Well, the first gaming console I ever had was a PS2.
Yeah.
I weirdly enough, I got the PS1 later. I don't know
Yeah.
why or what fucking road my father went down when he was buying us Christmas presents. They got a PS1 first and then a PS2 first, then a PS1. But the first games I remember playing and really getting into was Crash Bandicoot, the Wrath of Cortex series.
Yeah.
Those games were fantastic. I loved them so much. Uh, I never really never really played them. Well, I played the Crash game that came out in the Wii a couple of years ago.
Yeah, that was
I
terrible though.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. It completely fucking ruined the whole thing for me. It wasn't the same at all. But the Wii didn't really stand up with a lot of franchises.
Yeah,
But then, obviously, you know, when I was a kid, I didn't really play anything really fucking serious. There was obviously I got San Andreas and thought it was the best thing ever when I was 8 years old, and trying not to let my parents hear me stabbing people or CJ screaming "fuck off" at people and shit. Then when I got
did you
a
play
bit
the Game Boy
older,
Color?
sorry, what were you gonna say?
Did you play the Game Boy Color back in the day? I remember like everyone back in school used to have a Game Boy Color, and it wasn't backlit, so I remember like, oh, this sentence was everywhere. Could you get out of my light? Because if someone stood beside you, like you couldn't play your game.
I was
Yeah,
one of the
like, it had
people
to
that
be really
stood in the
bright
light.
Yeah.
I never had one, so I was always standing over his shoulders, going, "What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing?"
Get out of my light, man. I'm like, I'm gonna catch Mew.
That's what we all used to like. Rather than going to the playground, we'd go into the assembly hall and like hide in the corner where nobody would see us, and we'd all crowd
Yeah.
around like the one person in the class that had a Game Boy, and fangirl over Pokemon.
Yeah, my first console probably would have been the Game Boy Color, and then years later I got an original Game Boy. So I would have been playing like, the Pokemon games were definitely first, and then it would have been like the Yu-Gi-Oh games, and then obviously start playing Super Mario. I didn't even know what a NES was till like 10 years later, just the Game Boy Color and the Game Boy Advance. Like that was like most of my childhood, and from the age of like 4 to 14, the handheld consoles were a big part of my gaming life anyway.
Yeah,
And then like every year, like the Yu-Gi-Oh games came out. It was like the Yu-Gi-Oh World Champions. And then,
yeah. They always had
so, like,
exclusive cards with them.
yeah, so pretty much I played like every Weeaboo game, like anything that was Digimon, Pokemon. Like I didn't even care about Mario. It was all like, but looking back, like some of those anime games weren't the best.
Oh, but my first anime game that I really played would have been the Pokemon series when my little brother got a DS and I hijacked
Yeah.
it. I was just like, you're never getting this back now. You've got Pokemon on a DS. Fuck off.
Yeah,
But
like
fuck
now
all of them, yeah.
Like now I play all different types of games and stuff like that. But when I first got my DS, I would only play like anime-related games. So it was like, the Bleach game, the DS, which is actually a really good RPG. I think the DS did well with the anime-based games. And then there was like a terrible Naruto fighter.
Oh, was that
Naruto
Clash
Bla-
of Ninja? Or Uzumaki?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember there's one of them I've got an emulator for at the minute and it is fucking shit hard. Because the controls
Yeah.
are fucked.
Yeah, it's like a 3D fighter. A lot of people say it's good, but it was just so hard. And then there was like a Naruto platformer that I thought was really good. And then I got like an import, like the Shonen Jump fighting game.
Yeah.
With, like Yugi, and started like throwing like all these different cards at people and stuff like that. So I played that in the DS.
I think my main problem with Japanese anime-based games is they always release like one in the series for like US, UK, and Japan, and then they release the
Yeah.
sequel that everyone's fucking hyped about only in fucking Japan.
Yeah.
Well, thanks very fucking much. I've been dying for this. I've been waiting for this for a long time. 10-year-old me can't speak Japanese.
One thing that I never wanted to do when Pokemon Black came out, I think it came out in Japan like a year or two before the English release came out. So everyone was playing Pokemon in Japanese. I can't read Japanese. I don't want to like play an RPG in Japanese. That just seems like so hard. Like
I'm trying to guess what the Pokemon are called and where you're being told to go, etc.
Yeah, like it tells you where to go, but you can't read Japanese, so you're just like going around everywhere. That just sounds frustrating.
Just trying to fucking hope you're in the right place.
And then like the English game comes out then, and you've already played it in Japanese, and you're like, what's the point then? Oh no, but I'm kind of the same when it comes to like sub anime. If I watch the English dub, sometimes I'm like, why would I go back and watch the sub? Or if I watch sub first, I'm like, why would I go back and watch the dub?
You see, that's what annoys me about some things I watch the dub of, and it only goes so far. Now, normally I would prefer watching subbed. I watch most things subbed, but obviously you watch the odd one dubbed, and then you get so far, and it's like, oh, we haven't made any more fucking episodes. Good luck. And then you have to swap over, and you're getting used to new voices and different ways of talking and everything, because they change a lot of catchphrases and stuff when they bring it across to English. But I think that's because certain things can't be translated perfectly into English, like.
Yeah, like a lot of people will actually prefer the kind of like sub, because it seems like the Japanese voice actors are more serious, and then you'll watch an anime and then in subbed it seems like a completely different darker vibe, and then when it gets like the English dub, some of the voice actors kind of like seem like very Cartoon Network type of Johnny Bravo voice actors, especially kind of like a lot of the females. I know like say Panty and Stocking, it just kind of like completely changes the anime based on the voice actors. But for the most part, like sometimes when I actually watch sub, it actually gets to a point that I actually forget that I'm like listening to Japanese.
Yeah, no, I get that feeling as well. But I think the problem with dubbed is as well, there's like a select pool of voice actors that always get used. Like Bryce
Yeah,
Papenbrook and Todd Haberkorn are two big voice actors at the minute, you know, who do like Natsu, Eren Yeager, all those kind of guys.
yeah,
And they're in like, or Kirito and all as well, and they like fucking voice every male protagonist in every anime like the past 3 years that's came across as a dub. So you have to like
yeah,
the same kind of pool of actors always being used, whereas in Japan, everyone, well not everyone, but loads of people want to be anime voice actors. So you know,
yeah.
there's a far bigger selection there to go for as well.
There's like a roster for certain companies, like in Funimation. For like most of their animes, they'll use the same voice actors. Like the voice actor for Vegeta is Zoro in One Piece, so they have like a limited roster. But like,
Yeah.
not recently, but Vic Mignogna, who did Edward Elric in
Yeah.
Full Metal Alchemist, he was doing everything from like the mid to late 2000s.
He actually reprised his role as Edward in Brotherhood as well, didn't he? He was in both.
Yeah, he did, but I think they changed the voice actor for what's the younger brother's name again?
Alphonse.
Yeah, because I think it was a kid that did it originally, but he grew up and his voice dropped, so they got a female to reprise the role in Brotherhood.
Oh well, that makes sense. I suppose like the original came out in what, 2003? Was it the original FMA came out? 'Cause that was
I
like
think-
nearly 10 years before the Brotherhood remake came out.
Which did you prefer, Brotherhood or the original?
No, the original would have come out in 03, I think, roughly around that kind of time.
Yeah, about that.
And then the
Which-
remake came out in like, was it 2010 or 11, 12, that kind of region?
Yeah, I remember watching it 2010, 2011 because I got it on a DVD, so I think it was around about then. And wait, like, yeah, around there, about 2009, 2011, I think that came out. But which one did you prefer?
Do you know what? I haven't actually watched the original myself because everyone told me it strays really far from the original manga, and I don't really like when things do that. That's so I didn't watch the original Hunter x Hunter either.
Yeah.
I watched the remake that sticks closer
Yeah.
to the plot of the manga.
Would you? Yeah. But with the original Full Metal Alchemist, the Japanese were actually importing the English dub because it was so good. And I watched that before Brotherhood came out. And when I watched like the 50 odd episodes that was there of the original Full Metal Alchemist, I was like, this is literally one of the best animes that I've ever watched at the time. It still stands up these days. I wouldn't put it in my top 10 now or top 5 at the time. That was like absolutely amazing. But then when I watched Brotherhood, I think at a certain point, Full Metal Alchemist, the original anime, follows the manga, but the manga got was falling behind the anime. So kind of like the directors who were kind of like working on Full Metal Alchemist went their own way. But
Yeah.
after watching Brotherhood, even though it kind of like was more loyal to the manga, I think there was just something about the original. I don't know what it is. It could be just nostalgia, to be honest.
No, I know a few people who did watch the original and do say it stands up and it's great, but I think it's just my own personal preference that I don't like when things stray off the original source material too much. But
Yeah.
now that we were talking about the narrow pool of voice actors, that actually just brought up something in my head there. Did you hear the guys at Team 4-Star are getting their own anime dub?
They're getting their own anime dub.
Yeah, I'm just going to go online here and check which dub it is, but they've been recruited by a company to make an, well, not to make an anime, but to do the sole voices for an anime.
Yeah. Like, I've met Masako X, who does Goku and a few of the other characters, and he's an extremely nice person and a great voice actor. So I'm happy that they're getting an anime dub, because Dragon Ball Z Abridged, like, the quality of that, the voice acting is on par with other animes. But Little Karibo, he got a job as a voice actor and did some voices on a lot of other animes after doing that. So it was only a matter of time before Team 4-Star got it as well.
It's actually interesting in that fact, some of the original actors from Yu-Gi-Oh! Appeared in Little Karibo's Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged. Dan Green, the original voice of Yugi, appeared in a few
I've seen
episodes.
that.
But I'm liking the fact that these boys put in so much hard work, into this series over just how many years. Blood, sweat and tears were spent on the show, and now like actual production companies are going, no, these guys are good. These guys need a job. But they actually got to voice somebody or a few people on Xenoverse 2 as well, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. I think they were also working on a Final Fantasy VII Abridged.
Oh,
Because
that'd
at a
be
panel
pretty
that-
wicked.
I'm not sure if it happened or it's still in the works or is now cancelled, because last time I met Masako X was at an event in Sunderland called SunnyCon, and he announced that they were doing a Final Fantasy VII Abridged, but he was talking about like how much time it takes to do the Abridged series and how much effort that actually goes into one episode. So I'm not sure like what the status of that is at the moment anyway.
I think with this new anime, they're probably going to be pretty bogged under. I just looked it up there, and it's Madhouse Productions have them dubbing the film Hells.
Wait, is it Madhouse Productions the people who worked on One Punch Man?
Did Madhouse do One Punch? Madhouse have done a lot of stuff. Let me just check here. Did they do One Punch? But Madhouse have done loads of different things, and they're a huge company. Let's just see here.
The quality of their animation is pretty good.
Let's see, One Punch. I've just loaded up the list, and it is fucking huge. They did like Hunter x Hunter, Hellsing. Let's see. Fucking hell, this is a huge list here. My Love Story, Ninja Scroll. They've done One Punch Man, Overlord.
Yeah, One Punch Man.
Paprika as well, the movie. They've done loads of stuff. Sakura Wars. Fucking hell, this list goes on forever. Technolize, Trigon. These guys
a lot of people
are
would
big.
say that. Yeah, a lot of people would say that Madhouse are probably the best kind of studio for kind of releasing anime. So there was a lot of trouble. What was the company that was doing Dragon Ball Super? That in the early episodes, the animation was just absolutely terrible. It's not Toei Animation. I don't think it's Toei Animation, is it?
Well, Toei Animation owned the original Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
Dragon Ball Z, didn't they? They did the production for that. Let's see. I think it might be Toei Animation. I'm not sure.
But I know that in the early episodes of Dragon Ball Super, it was like so bad. They're so poorly drawn. But I think that they fired a lot of the animators, and in the DVDs, I think they went back over a lot of stuff. But I know Madhouse is kind of seen as one of the most popular studios out there.
I think Sunrise would probably be my favourite. They did Code Geass and Cowboy Bebop, and I think they did Gurren Lagann as well. But I haven't watched Gurren Lagann, so I'm not really sure on that front. If anyone's listening to this, no, I haven't seen Gurren Lagann, and no, don't spam comments about why haven't I seen Gurren Lagann. That's all anyone talks about.
No, I watched a few episodes of it, and I have a few friends who like cosplay from Gurren Lagann, but I think they kind of turned me off it.
There's so many series though, from what I've heard. There's like a new Gurren Lagann comes out every fucking season with a whole new plotline and some alternate universe with 50 new main characters to watch. And I'm like, what the fuck? How am I supposed to get into this? Where do I start?
I was working at a gaming con, and my friend was cosplaying the character with the glasses and the blue hair. He just kept saying like, I believe in you, who believes in me, who believes in you. I'm like, what the?
What the fuck is going on here? Chill out. A lot of cosplayers are dedicated to their completely character.
Yeah, years ago most of the cosplayers were anime based, but now it seems like the most popular one is the DC universe, Marvel universe, the comic book universe. In general, kind of cosplays or gaming, especially kind of like Overwatch and League of Legends.
Overwatch, League of Legends, and Marvel are fucking huge, but that's because Marvel have released quite a few big movies in the past, and even TV series like the Netflix Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, Iron Fist, and Daredevil all come out, and The Defenders actually came out today, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Today, as of recording this episode, which is the 18th of August, that is, just in case you're listening back from whatever time. Yeah, so that's probably why they're so big. Like, after Avengers come out, everyone was like, oh, fuck Marvel, they're great. And then Deadpool, you know what I mean? So they kind of had a few big hits, and then Guardians came out, and then all attention just went straight to Marvel. Although I do generally prefer DC. Start a war in the comments.
I really like the DC animated shows. They're well better than the Marvel shows. Marvel have better movies, but the comics, I'm more a fan of the DC comics than the Marvel comics. But yeah, Marvel do have the movies, but I think comics wise and the animated series, they only like, I love like 90s X-Men and 90s Spider-Man, and I think like the Drake Bell Spider-Man show that was out a couple of years ago was okay, but Batman the animated series, Batman Beyond, you know, the Flashpoint movie, with Batman and the Flash, the Wonder Woman movie, not only the live action one, that was great, but the Wonder Woman animated series that came out a few years ago, not the animated series, the animated movie was absolutely amazing. Oh, and the Justice League TV show.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Justice League is always in my head been just the pinnacle of epicness in comic books, but my favourite character from any comic company, I don't know if that's the correct word to use, is Nightwing. The original Robin. Oh, he's my favourite character. I remember there was a game, a Batman game, where you could play as Nightwing, and when I was a kid I like fanboyed so much because he was just so kick-ass.
No, I love Nightwing, but my favourite character had to be Jason Todd.
Jason Todd, the second Robin, isn't he?
Yeah.
The one that like replaced him, yeah.
Yeah, when I like used to do YouTube years ago, like Jason Todd's logo was literally what I used, and my name used to be Jason Todd Isn't Dead. But then I'm not a fan. I'm not kind of like. I'm not a fan of him now because he's changed a lot over the years. But when I think it was like Jim Lee and I can't remember who worked on the book when they brought him back. I think it was in 2003 or something like that. Like during that time, man, I was like big into like Red Hood and Jason Todd. But I would say besides that, my favorite character probably would be Nightwing after that.
It's just Nightwing was always so epic. It was a game along the lines of, do you remember the Ultimate Spider-Man or Amazing Spider-Man game that came out in the mid 2000s? It was like that kind of quality.
Yeah.
Really comic booky, really fucking fun. And just once I saw Nightwing and that, I was like, no, he is.
What console was it on?
PS2.
Was it Batman Vengeance? Was it?
It might be Vengeance. I can't exactly remember because I think it was.
Yeah.
I would have been about 8 or 9 at the time, so that's like 12 or 13 years ago. But I remember it just being the best thing ever in my mind, and Nightwing just being so fucking cool. But
I think there's two. Yeah, I think there's 3 on the PS2/Xbox. There's Batman Vengeance, Batman Rise of Sun Tzu, and then there's the Batman Begins movie. So he'd have to be in one of those two. He wouldn't be in Batman Begins.
No, he wouldn't be in Begins, actually, because he doesn't appear in Begins.
Do you want to move on to the next topic, the top 10 anime of all time? I think this is we're basing this kind of segment off one of Anime Man's recent videos, isn't it?
Yeah.
Where
2 videos actually. Well, he did the Japan launched the Japanese television network launched their top 100 poll and collated the results, and the Anime Man did a video where he covered which animes appeared in the Japanese top 100, and then started a poll to get like international communities answers on what should be the top 100 anime, which is actually a pretty interesting theory. But I thought it'd be really cool if we tried to come up with a top 10 between the two of us for what should be the top 10 anime of all time.
We won't give number 1 first. We have to think like bottom of the barrel list. What would you get? What would your number 10 be?
Let's see, what would my number 10 be? Let's see. I'm trying to think of something moe to put on the list because you need something cutesy.
I'm probably thinking like Dead Man Wonderland would be good to give a number 10. I know it kind of like ended on like a cliffhanger, but that show was I think it was like 13 episodes. But that seems like a good one to give the 10 place. That one was really good.
Well, let's see. I haven't actually seen that one yet, but I'll let you assign it number 10 if you think it should be on the list. 2 seconds.
Like, see. What would you think your number 10 is?
If I was to put a number 10 in, I'd probably say K-On! It was
Yeah, I remember K-On!
I fucking loved that series so much. I weeped out over that so bad. I was fangirling for weeks when I was watching that. I don't know what it was that caught my attention, but I just loved it so much. It's a series I could rewatch over and over again. It's just so lighthearted and silly.
Yeah.
That when I'm in a fucked off mood, it's something I could put on and cheer me right up again. But what do you think?
Yeah, I think at the same time with Clan as well, or that they were quite similar. Or when I watched Clan, it was about the same time I watched Con. But yeah, I'd say that'd be an okay 10 place. I would agree with that. But number 9, what would you think?
Number 9, something that's near the pinnacle of greatness, but kind of falls short. I would put Hunter x Hunter in there because it was a great series, but a lot of it was dragged out far too fucking much, and there's been such a long wait on any new series or any new kind of fucking content from it. Although I think that's because the author's like constantly on fucking hiatus from writing the manga.
Yeah,
but
I'd probably say so. I'd probably say something like maybe like one of the 90s anime that were quite popular. Maybe like Rurouni Kenshin, maybe. Have you ever heard of Kenshin or Rurouni Kenshin? It was quite popular back then.
I've heard of Kenshin.
Yeah, and the original Hunter x Hunter was about that time. And I'll probably give maybe Kenshin, maybe 9th place.
Let's see, we'll put Kenshin in our 9th place then, and
Number 8, that's when it gets hard.
Yeah, once you start getting on the ones that are starting to really get good, and this top 5 is definitely, if anyone listens to this, is going to start a fucking fight because nobody agrees with anybody else in the anime
but I mean like the popular like shonen's on that list. People are just going to get mad if Bleach on that list, if Naruto's on that list.
Let's see, what can we say is number 1 just to satisfy everybody? Let's see, number 8. Let's see, we have to get a movie on this list somewhere as well.
Akira,
pretty wicked movie, not made by Ghibli and popular somehow. Which is
Akira's a really good one.
Shock for the anime community. I heard that's getting a live action.
Yeah, I heard that as well.
But I haven't heard anything since. I heard the announcement being made, and then I was kind of cut on fuck off for not telling anybody anything else about the Akira live action. But let's see. Yeah, I'd put Akira there. It's a classic. Everybody loves it, and it's not made by Ghibli, so
Yeah. Because
Everyone.
obviously, like, if we're gonna pick a Ghibli movie, it's gonna probably be Spirited Away.
Oh, Spirited Away is the first anime movie I ever watched, but I wouldn't say it's my favourite by Ghibli.
What's your favorite?
Oh, it has to be When Marnie Was There, the 2015 one. It's fucking...
Yeah.
It's... I don't know what... I was watching the movie and the whole way through I was taking the piss out of the entire concept of the movie. And then within the
Yeah.
last 5 minutes it releases... I'm not going to say any spoilers in case anyone listening hasn't seen it. But in like the last few minutes it revealed something that just punches you right in the heart. And I felt like such a dick for mocking the movie the whole way through and I was nearly crying. So that has to be my favourite Ghibli movie by far.
I have an unpopular opinion. One of my favorite Ghibli movies of all time is Ponyo.
Ponyo?
Yeah. It was like had like Miley Cyrus's younger sister as a voice actor and the Jonas Brothers' younger sister as a voice actor. But even though I still liked it, wouldn't be my favorite. But I've a soft spot for it. Obviously, Spirited Away, My Neighbor Totoro, and probably Princess Mononoke. I know they would be all quite similar to me. So we just put like. So we gave the number 8 spot. We'll just give the number 7 spot to like. We couldn't give it to one Studio Ghibli movie. But we just say Studio Ghibli movies in general.
Yeah, we'll have to. If we give any specific Studio Ghibli movie, everyone's gonna fucking shit themselves. So number 7 is Studio Ghibli, people. They are the number 7. Choose your own movie. We want to keep you all happy. Choose one. It's number 7. All good in the hood.
But now it's getting harder. We can't just give anything number 6 now. What do you think?
See, 6 is kind of like it's kind of like a kick in the teeth. Because you were nearly in the top 5, but you just weren't quite good enough to get there. Have you seen Gakko Gurishi?
No.
Oh, it's a fucking weird anime. The girl that voices Wendy Marvel in the Fairy Tail English dub voices the main character. Basically, it's about these.
Oh, you mean Lucy? Oh no, no, Wendy's the little girl. Yeah, Wendy. Yeah. Sorry.
The Queen Lolly of Fairy Tail.
Yeah.
She voice acts in Gakko Gurishi. It's about this girl and she's living through a zombie apocalypse in her school, but she's kind of fucking snapped. So the school's completely barricaded off, so no zombies can get in. But in her head, she's getting delusions that it's just normal school life, and her friends are kind of there in the background trying to keep her happy and let her think that there's a normal school, and she goes to class and sits by herself and tries learning while her friends are like kicking the fucking heads of anything trying to get into the ground.
Yeah.
So it's I would probably put that in my personal number 6, but what do you reckon?
Like number 6 is where you want to give something underrated. So maybe we can just like give our own number 6s, or like from then on here we both give what we give number 6. It's gonna make it more interesting. But for me, there's an underrated shonen that I thought was really good that no one has ever watched that I've talked to, called Get Backers, and I've read the manga for it, and I've watched the anime. It starts off, the way it starts off, you wouldn't really think it's a shonen. It's been a while since I watched it, but I'll definitely want to rewatch it sometime soon. But it's like two guys, and they kind of set up a kind of company where if something is stolen or taken on you, that they will get it back.
Yeah.
And eventually, you kind of find out that they are going to have like powers or certain types of strength, and then eventually like guys who have like similar powers and similar strength end up coming along, and then if I remember right, there's like some sort of tower that they've like to make their way to the top, and then on the lowest levels is where like the weaker guys are, and the higher you go up, the stronger they are. And one of the main guys used to live on the bottom floor, which is kind of like each floor is like a city, so it's almost like the poor kind of run down place. But that would probably be like one of the animes that I think will be kind of like no one has heard of, but it's really good, and I would suggest people check it out.
That's another thing, actually. If you haven't seen any animes off this list that we're given, go check them out. There's a reason we've put them there. If you haven't seen them, we love them. We've put them here because we think they're great, and definitely check them out. I'll put a list in the description of what we've actually put in each position as well, so that if you want to check them out later on. Now,
I haven't watched
Sorry?
Yeah, number 5 is it? No, I haven't watched Get Back in about 10 years. I have to rewatch it. But your number 5?
Number 5, my 5th favourite. Oh, I'd have to put Death Note there because it's not quite my favourite, but it deserves to be in the top
Number 5.
Like, it is not my favourite. I love the show. Watched it so many fucking times, and I could continuously watch it because it is great. And every time you watch it, it still captures like every part of your brain to understand what's going on. But It has to be there in the top 5. It has to be.
I would agree with that now as well. I think that the forced watch is always the best because like every episode, like you think that Kira is gonna end up being beaten, or you think at one point Light is gonna be like shot by his father, and then you
Yeah.
don't know how he's gonna get out of it, and literally has it at will literally have the viewer at the edge of their seat, and then obviously when you rewatch it, you know what's gonna happen, but Death Note. It would have been a perfect. I think it would have been a perfect anime if not for kind of the ending.
Yeah.
I won't give any spoilers, but like the last couple of episodes, just weren't as good. I
Yeah,
don't think.
if you've watched the Death Note and you're watching this, you know what part we're talking about,
Yeah,
where it kind of strays.
up until then, I think it's almost perfect. But it was really dark, and it became popular worldwide, and had like amazing kind of like suspense and kind of storytelling. So I think something like that, no, definitely. Five. So number 4.
Number 4. Let's see. I think we'd have to put a popular 90s shonen at number 4.
What would I give number 4?
I would personally, I put the Dragon Ball franchise at number 4. It would go up higher on the list, but then they released GT and puked on the fan base. So I said like the Dragon Ball franchise at number 4. But what do you reckon?
I think that like each kind of like Dragon Ball series is quite different because Dragon Ball, the way it started, is more like a martial arts kind of like slice of life kind of anime
Yeah.
with a lot of comedy. And then obviously Dragon Ball Z is more like an insane fighting alien anime, and then GT mixes both, and then Super it's gone off the pat again. That's just kind of doing its own thing.
Yeah, I remember the original Dragon Ball was just a kid with a tail learning how to fight, and like Goku didn't have any fucking special abilities. He didn't do any Super Saiyan shit, no Kaioken, none of that. It was just him. Well, he had the Kamehameha at the end.
Yeah, the Kamehameha later on.
But yep, there was none of this. Everyone has a mad transformation, and every time you beat somebody, they power up even further. So you have to power up even further. And it didn't have the whole scream for 5 episodes to win a fight thing.
Like I'm a fanboy of Dragon Ball Z, and like I would just give it number 1, even though I know it's not a perfect series. But I'm not gonna do this for this list. But I would give number 4 to the original Dragon Ball. The original Dragon Ball I think is underrated, and it doesn't get the same praise that Z would get or Super. I would say I'll give that number 4.
So we'll put Dragon Ball at number 4 then. It's nice to see that we're actually agreeing on some of these top 10s here, so we're in the top 5 at least, so we're not splitting off entirely. Now number 3, you're close, but you're close, but you're just not perfect. Number 3, Nate, do you want to go first this time for number 3?
Yeah. So what would I give number 3? It has to be a really good one. Like there's a few that are in my head, but I was like, should I give them number 3? I'm not giving Attack on Titan any fucking place on this list, to be honest.
You're not an Attack on Titan on the list at all, no?
No, I wouldn't put on the list. It'd be kind of like a cop out to give that number 3.
Nate departed the hype train a long time ago.
Yeah. 3. Oh, the original Full Metal Alchemist, of course. Yeah, go for that.
Oh, the original Full Metal. Let's pair it. FMA and FMA Brotherhood.
Yeah,
number
Brotherhood
3
together. Yeah.
because
Whichever you
I
prefer.
haven't seen the original, but I have seen Brotherhood and I think it's fucking great. So we'll put them in joint number 3. So we've kind of agreed there.
Yeah.
Haven't.
Number 2 is where it gets hard.
Oh, number 2. I've got an idea for number 1 and number 2, but I'm kind of fighting in my head as to what goes in what order. Because
There's a lot of like, yeah.
it's just there's so many swirling in my head from like recent years to like when I was a kid. This is where it gets really fucking tough.
Do you want to go first for number 2?
Let's say I'll go first, and I'm trying to fight off the nostalgia in my head because my head's saying Yu-Gi-Oh, but I'm like, nah, it's not fucking perfect. Do you know what? For the sake of nostalgia, fuck it. I'm going with my childhood. I'm putting Yu-Gi-Oh and Yu-Gi-Oh GX at number 2.
Oh, Yu-Gi-Oh was a big part of my childhood, but for number 2, what would I give number 2? Like, there's a lot of like mangas that I really liked that no one else liked when I was kind of like younger, and especially in recent years, or animes. But number 2, I'm probably gonna have to give the One Piece.
One Piece. So I've watched a few episodes of One Piece. I haven't watched the whole thing because well, it's on my to watch list on my anime list, but you know how long those kind of to watch lists get.
Yeah,
I've always just been intimidated by the fucking 800 and counting episodes. You know what I mean? And it's
yeah,
not even nearly halfway through the series from what I've heard.
yeah. At the beginning, it's still good, but later on, it gets much better. And I couldn't give One Piece a hard time, but then I had a friend who was a One Piece cosplayer, and I literally had to watch about 5 to 6 panels of him talk about One Piece to eventually where I got on and co-hosted this panel with him. But One Piece, I think it for a long time after Dragon Ball Z, and it probably is still to this day, the top-selling like manga and anime in Japan, and still quite popular all over Europe. And it's like what's it like 600 episodes, like 60 plus around. Kind of around those numbers in terms of like manga volumes, and it's still only halfway through. And I think the creator, what's it, Yorocha Oda, a few years ago he said there's going to be another like 10 years left of One Piece, so we're probably not going to see the end of this until like at least 2020, if not like 2025, somewhere along the lines of those years. But I'd say that would be a good one to give second place.
No, actually, One Piece is universally popular. All kinds of fans love it, and it has been capturing fans' attention for well over 15 years now. Is it the original anime came out in the early 2000s?
I think even earlier than that, probably.
Late 90s maybe even, so yeah probably as
before
long
Kids
as we've
One,
been alive. So yeah, let's see, I'll withdraw my Yu-Gi-Oh! I can't object to One Piece being a
Well, we
number
can both have a number two, like it could be Yugi and One Piece. Well, both of them were 4 Kids, but I'm not talking about the 4 Kids one, I'm talking about the Funimation one that came out later. And the Funimation one, yeah, that didn't come out till much later, but yeah, I think the manga was around in the 90s. But I think it was like mid or late 2000s the Funimation dub came out, and that's really good. Number one, this is where it's hard.
Number one. This has to be something that begins and ends perfectly with no drops in the middle. What could we put? I've got there is one for number one in my head, and there can only be one in my head that I would give top spot to.
Castlevania. It's only 4 episodes. You couldn't fuck that up. No, I can't give Castlevania.
it is hard to fuck up 4 episodes worth of anime, but in my opinion, because the hype train's just kind of fucking flared up again, my number one has to be Code Geass.
Yeah.
Code Geass it was when I got back into anime when I was like in my mid-teens. Code Geass was the one that really fucking grabbed my attention. I loved the writing. It was like Death Note but fucking cooler in my opinion. Well, mech, I love the mech aspect of it and the whole Lucius strategy. And now because they're talking about season 3, I'm kind of excited and scared at the same time, because I hope that it's going to be as good as the first 2 seasons, but I'm kind of scared that they're trying to flog a dead cat and make a few extra yen, I suppose would be the term. A few extra yen for themselves. So I'm kind of fucking scared that they'll balls it up. But I have to say Code Geass is number one. It made anime for me.
Do you want to give some honorable mentions before I give my number one? Give me some time to think. But
honorable mentions for me then, just to let Nate argue with himself internally. Naruto has to be there.
Yeah, the original
Naruto is fucking perfect. I read the whole manga. I've watched the anime. It is fantastic.
Did you skip the fillers at the end?
I skipped the fillers and everything.
Yeah, if you skip the fillers at the end, the original Naruto is absolutely amazing. But if you watch the fillers, it's like nah. But I think the original Naruto gets a lot of hate, but I think it's really good if you skip the fillers. Same with Shippuden. Just watch it without the fillers. But I think the original is much better than Shippuden.
Yeah, no, I'm sure if you haven't watched it and you do want to watch it, if you want to skip the fillers, there has to be a list online of episodes that are actually completely fucking irrelevant. But
I found that. That's what I did.
Oh, you already found it. So there definitely is a list that tells you what not to watch. If you don't like watching subbed though, you're out of luck because the thing isn't finished being dubbed yet. But let's see, another honourable mention to let Nate debate. I have to put Attack on Titan in there. I'm sorry, Nate. Attack on Titan is an honourable mention.
No, I would give Attack on Titan an honourable mention. I'd definitely give that an honourable mention. It's good, but it's not. I wouldn't put it on like a top 10 list. It seems like a kind of a cop out. But yeah, I'll give that an honourable mention. But with me, some of the honourable mentions I want to give is Devil as a Part Timer, Ranma 1/2. We want to give like the first few seasons of Bleach an honourable mention.
Before the author just fucked up.
Up until the end of the Soul Society arc, maybe.
After that, the kind of the power levels, and well, not power levels as in Dragon Ball Z power levels, but the levels of strength of every character just started fucking spiraling out of control. The story
just went crazy.
Going on.
Then it got cancelled. Oh, Up until the Soul Society arc, I thought that was really good. What else would I give an honorable mention to? Obviously things like Cowboy Bebop. We have to give Fairy Tail an honorable mention. No,
Oh yeah.
Fairy Tail is not as good as like the show and animes back in the day, but it was the only like beside One Piece, it was like one of the um good ongoing ones that was going for a while. So I give that Fairy Tail.
Oh yeah.
I give that honorable mention.
I completely forgot about Fairy Tail. I read the finale of the manga there a couple of weeks ago as well, and fangirled to death over it. Fairy Tail does have to get an honourable mention.
But number
Bebop
one
as well. Oh yeah, you're
Yeah,
gonna go straight in with your number one?
I'm trying to think. Number one, what would I give it to? I'm just gonna give it to Digimon, man. Digimon's amazing.
Digimon at number one for Nate.
Yeah, all the first three, 4 seasons.
You have
Nah,
just
first-
started a
first
fucking
three.
war, man. You have just started a fucking war.
But like, a lot of people are like, what's your favorite game on the PS1 or of all time? I know Digimon World, the original one, is not the best of game because the PS1 game, Digimon World, the anime was kind of based on that, but this was kind of made before the anime came out. So like the Digi evolutions are kind of different. Like you'll have like Agumon, and then he'll turn into like this kind of like shit monster, and then he'd eat his own shit. And you have to train them and wash them and all this different shit. But for me, just because of nostalgia, the first Digimon World game is absolutely amazing. It's not like the second one. 'Cause the second one kind of is more, and the later Digimon World games are more, say, anime based and more cartoony.
Yeah,
But yeah, that's just gonna be my cop out answer. The Digimon franchise.
I have to say that Digimon was when I was a kid, I remember seeing Digimon in the Digimon movies before seeing Pokemon. And the one thing that always stands out in my head is, do you remember the song at the end of the original Digimon movie, Kids in America?
Smash Mouth.
No, it was Smash
Kids in America.
Kids in America by Kim Wilde as it does that song. I remember
Oh,
that
man,
being
I know.
there and just being like, oh my god, this is fucking
Do you know what I
great.
listen to all the time? The Digimon soundtrack for the movie. Oh no, but Angela Anaconda in the Digimon movie. Man, I like that because I used to watch Cartoon Network at the time.
Oh yeah, at the
I thought
very
it was-
start of it.
Yeah, in the English version, Angela Anaconda.
Yeah, I that's another thing I remember seeing, that we had a little TV and it used to be on top of the fridge, and I remember seeing it up there, Angela Anaconda, and then perfection.
And it was like 2 movies in one. It was like season 1 at the beginning, and then that was like a self-contained movie. And then there was the second part. But like I still to this day will listen to the Digimon soundtrack because it's all pop punk. Like there's Bare Naked Ladies who do
Big
they also
Bang
do the
Theory.
intro for Bang Theory. Did the song 1 Week's amazing. Smash Mouth All Star. We got Kids in America, and then there's like All My Friends Are Metalheads is one of the other songs. Oh man, that soundtrack was just absolutely amazing.
The whole franchise is more like a kind of edgier Pokemon. I'm not sure
Yeah,
which one came out first, and I'm gonna sound like a dickhead for not knowing, but it was always kind of like a more what's the word, intense Pokemon, you know, because everything had much more thought.
Yeah.
The evolution system, you could go back and forward. The characters changed constantly, so you didn't have a fucking eternal 10-year-old flying about.
I think the way it happened was the guys who made Tamagotchi start making Digivoices, and then the Digivoices became popular, and then created an anime, and then obviously the Pokemon games came out first, and then that anime was based on the video game. But I think technically you could say I think the Tamagotchis came out first. Well,
Yes.
technically you can kind of say that, but a lot of people are like Pokemon's better than Digimon. Digimon's better than Pokemon. Pokemon may be more popular, so more, but I think storytelling wise, Digimon's better. And Pokemon, it was good for 1 season. I went downhill after that. I thought it got good again with X and Y. Obviously not as good as the original, but Digimon was good for 3-4 seasons. Like season
Even
two, man.
even the newer stuff is. I remember I watched one of the newer movies with.
Digimon Try.
Yeah, I think it might have been Try with one of my friends, and thinking the storytelling here is actually still quite good, whereas Pokemon kind of pissed away the good storytelling after the Johto series, in my opinion.
I was following like Digimon Data Squad, and that like it wasn't the best, but I still watched it. I think like Data Squad around that kind of time, like Digimon wasn't the best, and obviously kind of like later on when there was what was after Data Squad? Well, I know Troy came after soon. That's kind of the one. That one was good, but near the end of the season after Data Squad, the original characters came back, or like there was like a couple of episodes where like all the different seasons from parallel universes were all together.
Yeah. I haven't heard of that. I actually might go back and rewatch that because I started rewatching the original Digimon a couple of months ago, and
It's so good.
I remember fangirling completely the first time seeing Garurumon appear on my screen.
Oh, and then in season 2, like all the kids come back and they're older and stuff like that.
Oh man, I'm actually just getting hit by waves of fucking nostalgia thinking about all this now.
So, I think next on the list is Sony's purchase of Funimation. I'll let you start off about this.
Yeah, Sony's purchase of Funimation is something really, it's kind of big and interesting at the minute because there's two sides to every coin. Now with Sony purchasing Funimation, we're going to get far bigger distribution networks. You might actually start seeing decent anime series or decent anime movies that Funimation are dubbing appearing in like Tesco's or Asda if you're in the UK or Walmart in America, or like just in general a better distribution center because Sony movies distributes to fucking everywhere. They have a far wider reach, but they
Yeah.
censor like fucking crazy. Because have you heard about them re-releasing a lot of movies and cutting parts out that they didn't deem suitable, which is kind of scaring me because for anime censorship is already such a big fucking issue.
I thought that Sony would have been like less strict about censorship and that sort of thing. So I know like 10 years ago Disney wanted to buy Funimation, and if Disney got Funimation it was literally going to be like 4Kids all over again. But obviously that didn't happen. But I thought because obviously like Sony, they release a lot of darker, older, sort of like mature games and stuff like that, or they produce them or have them on their network, like God of War and that sort of thing that are exclusives and Uncharted. I thought they would have been less strict on it. But it's pretty much we have to see which way they're gonna do it. I'd say some animes that they think they can market the kids, they're probably gonna edit.
Yeah, that's what I'm scared about because stuff like Fairy Tail and all could be cut down for kids and have certain arcs or certain scenes removed that are kind of fucking wicked, in my opinion. You know what I mean?
That's edited a little bit though, I think. But I'd say for the most part, like I could see Sony editing that a little bit, but not too much. But then if there is animes that are kind of aimed at the 18 plus, I can see them kind of letting.
Then that slide kind
of. I can see like a lot less censorship and them like literally just like letting everything in.
Yeah.
But then same with every company. If they're like, say something about Naruto Shippuden, if you watch the sub, there's like so much stuff that's like not suitable for kids in it. Even in the dub itself, which was done by Funimation, there was still a lot of stuff in it that you probably couldn't get away with kids. But that was on Disney XD for a while, so I can see from them they're like, right, if we put this on the air, we're probably going to get a lot of backlash from like the parents of some of the younger kids because that's who they're trying to market that stuff to.
Yeah.
So that they're probably edited that way. Whereas people like us who are in their 20s who are like, man, like what the fuck? What are you editing this shit for?
Yeah, I know, it's like this is vital to the story. And this guy is a dick. We need to hear him curse. We need to see him do this and do that.
I'll be happy once they release unedited DVDs. So I think that's kind of the same with Naruto Shippuden. That when it was on Disney XD, it would be edited, but you can get the DVDs and it'd be unedited.
Yeah, you get the official proper licensed version.
Yeah, straight from Funimation.
But the thing is about the DVDs now as well, that's what I'm happy about. Sony's distribution network is going to be fantastic for anime. You might see studios actually able to make a bit more money because people are actually able to buy the products for a better price.
Yeah. Look at Netflix. All the animes that they're releasing or that they're funding and stuff like that. I know Castlevania is an anime, but it's very anime inspired. Or the amount of licenses that they've actually had. They had like Pokemon and Digimon and stuff like that. So I can see like Sony funding a lot of anime projects. So which is kind of like good for the medium in general.
You see, that's the anime has always been, well, for the past few years, with the rise of streaming websites and the illegal downloads, torrents, etc. Companies have been losing shit tons of money and can't afford to hire animators or put out the series that they want to, or start making a series and can't afford to continue it. But with big companies like Netflix and Sony and Amazon with their anime strike program, there's a lot more chance now for anime companies to start developing again and get more money in, so that we can start getting more and more series of better quality back in, which is
getting second
really
seasons.
Yeah, second seasons, and just there's so many things that this could do for the community as well, like spread anime to a wider audience as well, because a lot of people would never be introduced to anime because they've never seen it. But if you walk into your local Asda, your local Tesco, Sainsbury's, whatever supermarket is near you, and you have more chance of seeing anime DVDs now if Sony are buying it. Or with the rise of Netflix, you're online, you've got a Netflix account for your kids or your teenagers or whatever, and they can see anime there in front of them now. So it's got a far wider reach now, a bigger pull for an audience, which is great.
Yeah. So tell me what Kaijo is. I looked it up recently and I was shocked. Like, I was like, what the hell?
Kaijo, yeah, this is one that I because if anyone's familiar with Kaijo, then I don't know if it's pronounced Kaijo or Kaijo, but I'm just going to say Kaijo.
That's a butcher.
It's a sports anime where basically you get an Olympic-sized swimming pool and you put a big flotilla fucker in the middle, and you get two moe kawaii as fuck girls and put them on said platform. Now the objective of the sport is to knock one off the platform, but there's only two weapons that you're allowed to use. Ass and titties. Damn ass and titties. And I saw online that it is now a real sport being played in Portugal, so I'm kind of fucking wondering what the fuck is going on. Like, it's kind of cool in a sense that people are taking this anime sport and making it real, but it's kind of softcore porn.
But Sean, if guys do it, man, there's dick slapping.
If anyone wants to sponsor me and Nate to play a game of Keijo in somewhere, feel free to email us and fund this. Oh, Brazzers, Pornhub, we are up for this, lads. Get behind us on this new project. But it'll be interesting to see how it pans out, because I don't want to turn on BT Sport someday. Well, not that I don't want to, just it'd be weird if I turned on BT Sport and saw the World Championship of Keijo on a Saturday evening.
Stick it on that one just before one of the McGregor fights.
Yeah, they're on the undercard for McGregor and Mayweather, two girls in a swimming pool, tit slapping the fuck out of each other.
Do they wear bras when this happens, or?
From what I can tell, it looks like the real life people wear padding, just in case because bones hurt like fuck. So they kind of pad elbows and chest and stuff.
And then getting breast implants are kind of like taking steroids in that sport.
I didn't even think about that. Silicon's a contraband substance in the world of Keijo.
Is it?
If you Portuguese Keijo players need officiants, obviously me and Nate are experts in the subject, and we will officiate all your matches for you.
Yeah. We will check to make sure that we're not using any weapons or anything. Check to make sure everything's working correctly.
And Nate will check for a lack of silicon.
Yeah, I will. I know that shit's real or not as well.
He doesn't complain.
I'm an expert in that. No. But next there is the One Piece is getting a live action. But to be fair, everything is supposedly getting a live action.
Yeah, it's every time you load up Facebook or Kotaku or any source of anime news, a new series has got live action. Assassination Classroom got one, FMA got one, Akira's supposedly getting one, Death Note is getting the Netflix one. Netflix, yeah. I mean, Death Note has two others though as well. There's the Japanese 2015 one, was it came out, and then one from before that. I actually liked the 2015, I think it was. The 2015 live action was pretty fucking wicked. But I'm just kind of worried about. I haven't seen much of One Piece, but I just know from what I have seen that it's going to be fucking difficult to transfer, to the kind of live action media platform without having to use too much silly CGI. Is what I'm kind of fucking worried about.
I think One Piece is going to be terrible. I think just trying to translate that into live action is going to be bad. But a lot of people are kind of giving the Death Note one, the American live action one, a lot of shit because L is black.
Yeah.
But people like William Dafoe as Ryuk. But I think man, I've watched the anime. I've seen the Japanese live action. It's all quite similar. But I think that the American one is going a different way, and I like it. I don't want to watch the same thing over. But I don't know. What do you think?
I'm gonna save my official judgment for when it comes out, but I am kind of wary. I do think Willem Dafoe will play Ryuk perfectly because he was great as the Green Goblin.
Yeah.
The characters do have that same kind of vibe, and I can imagine his voice will be fantastic for it.
And from the trailer alone, it looks like he's doing a good job. And I thought, I watched the trailer and I was amazed by that because I had low expectations for it. But I know that the live action was years in the making. At one point, they wanted Zac Efron to do Light or Kira. But I think One Piece in general, it's gonna be like Avatar: The Last Airbender, the live action movie, which was absolutely terrible. I can see it going that way. It's too hard, to kind of capture, because One Piece, it can be dark sometimes, but in compared to a lot of other animes, it's not that dark. And the kind of happy-go-lucky kind of slice of life part of it, it's you just can't really do it, man. It's you can market it as a kids movie, or you can kind of market it as more for adults. You can't have a mix. It's just too hard to adapt. I think. I don't think. Is it going to be a Japanese live action or an American live action?
From what I saw this news announced on Twitter. It looked like it was Hollywood.
Yeah, because the Japanese culture is much different. So I can see them being able to adapt it to be okay, but I don't know. I just have no good expectations of that. So No Man's Sky Atlas Rises has an update.
Yeah, No Man's Sky is a game that everyone, well, not everyone, but a lot of people were really excited for. You know, an open universe,
Yeah.
free to explore. Everyone pre-ordered it, everyone got it, and then everyone went, oh fuck, what have I just spent my money on? When they actually got the game. Now, they did release the Pathfinder update, I'm not sure it was called, where they introduced vehicles, bases, you know, shit where you could actually expand what you do in the game now and just land it on a planet and then fucking off to another one. But I think it's a bit too late.
Yeah, it is.
It should have been incorporated at the start of the game. These updates shouldn't have needed to be made. Hello Games should have kind of just copped on and said, no, this isn't ready. This is not able to go out yet. There's not enough playability. Because I had it too, just a week or two after it came out, and I was like, oh fuck. What am I even doing with my money?
Did it look like an unfinished game, or?
It felt unfinished to me. It didn't feel like it was perfected at all. Like, the universe was made. The storyline was made. Now, the resource gathering system and all was done, but just there wasn't enough to do. You landed on a planet, you mined for fuel, you explored a little bit, and then you was pissed off to the next planet. There was nothing else to do.
I guess it's kind of
repetitive.
I guess it's going to happen with a lot of gaming companies, where years ago, that if it was, say, like a home console, an old PC, like back then you could like send it with a floppy disk or, you know. But, you know, years ago when you made the game, the first time around you had to get it correct. But nowadays they know that if they have like a release date and they need the money now, that they can throw it up, they can throw it out, get people to buy it, and then update it later on. Like when Skyrim first came out, like that game was broken on the PS3, and on the Xbox 360 I had a glitch, like a game-breaking glitch.
Oh well,
that's what.
I think just this new update system, you know, being able to update via online has made a lot of companies lazy in that sense, though, that they don't think they need to look over everything as strenuously as they should. You know what I mean? They shouldn't release these games until they've, in their opinion, mastered it. Like, I wouldn't release a game unless I thought it didn't need to be updated, and then if it did, I would update it. Then I would update it. But nothing should leave a studio without this perfect, you know, stamp on it. If you get me.
Do you know what grinds my gears? DLC that's already on the disc, and they wait a few months and release it, and then charge you to access that data. That annoys me. Like on games like Gran Turismo or some of the fighting games.
Yeah. Where characters or stages.
The content is there. It's not like they're making it after the release of the game. It's just kind of like a money racket.
Yeah, no. See, there's loads of things like that. Even DLCs that annoyed me that should have just been like Hearthfire for Skyrim. Why wasn't that just included? Why didn't that just come as part of the game? All you did was build a fucking house. There was no advanced coding. There was nothing really story changing. It was just an extra few quid for Bethesda, and I was kind of like, well, fuck you guys. Seriously. Why?
That was the first DLC they released, isn't it? And then later they kind of added like a...
Then there was Dawnguard and what was the other? I've already forgotten the other Skyrim DLC. Roast me in the comments below.
So there's a new Final Fantasy Dissidia game.
Yeah, the Dissidia was always, in my opinion, a great fighting game. It didn't have the whole turn-based strategy of the earlier Final Fantasies, or the amazing graphics of the later ones. Now the graphics were good.
Do you know how that started though? Yeah.
Final Fantasy.
No, well, Dissidia. I think there was a game on the PS1 that had its own characters, and then for the PS1 version, they started adding all these Final Fantasy characters, so it pretty much became a Final Fantasy 4. I think it was called Ergeist for the PS1.
Yeah.
It's really, it's kind of like in Europe. In Japan it was very popular, but to get a copy of it kind of in Europe or the US is it's quite rare. But yeah, pretty much they had their own characters, but they added like, I think Sephiroth was in a, Cloud was in a, Tifa was in a, and a few of the other Final Fantasy characters. And obviously years later then they released Dissidia. But this is the third game now, is it? Or
yeah, this is the third Dissidia game that's coming out. For any Final Fantasy fans, which I'm sure there are, they were talking about anime and gaming, so Final Fantasy people should be here, I would assume anyway. The new Dissidia game, Dissidia NT, is the third game, and it's got a closed beta for PS4, which is announced. It's going to start on the 24th, and you can sign up to try get selected. Not everyone will get selected because it's a closed beta, but if you do, if you go to Final Fantasy franchise's website, there is a link there to sign up for the closed beta. Now it's only PS4. If you have an Xbox One, tough fucking shit, bro. It's PlayStation exclusive. So get your asses in here and sign up for there.
The Vita is dead, because obviously those games were PSP. I could see that this game was probably in development for the Vita, maybe not, but obviously that's a dead console now. I don't even think that they released that game on the Vita. So I'm not sure what to think of it. If it was actually kind of developed for the Vita, and now they're going to port it to the PS4, it's like,
Oh well, there was a few like Digimon Cyber Sleuth was originally for PS Vita if I remember correctly, and then I played it on PS4 and I thought it came across rather well.
yeah. So hopefully, but it is a
Hopefully if it
fighting
is
game
for
at the same
Vita.
time. And fighting games, you know, they usually do cross very well. Like, what was it? It was no, the Street Fighter 4 port was it? It was on the 3DS, and that went down very well. And then was in Marvel vs. Capcom. That was on the Vita, and that was just as good as the PS3 version.
Yeah. Well, it depends. Like the two-dimensional fighter games as well, especially like Injustice. You know, where you don't have a whole lot of camera spins and stuff like that, will port across perfectly as well. The only thing is, well, in my opinion, the Cydia, from the original PSP game, there's so many camera spins and all that it would work better on a PS4 than on a Vita. But nobody has a fucking Vita anyway, so Final Fantasy.
Yes, it's dead, like.
Yeah, Square Enix, if you're listening, no, make sure there's no that this wasn't a PS4 port from the Vita. Just, I'm scared.
Also, Square Enix, you're listening. Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah, hurry up with that shit. It was launched at E3 though, didn't they? Release the first trailer.
Yeah.
I've been shitting myself this since I was fucking. What, 2006 Kingdom Hearts 2 came out?
Yeah, 2006. And then there was like Dream Drop Distance, which is pretty much Kingdom Hearts 2.5.
Yeah.
I even liked it was like 360 fucking days and a half. I probably butchered that name on the DS.
Yeah.
A lot of people hate it because like after like every mission, like you end up eating ice cream on a roof or something. I like that one.
That was when we played as Roxas, wasn't it, as a member of Organization 13?
Yeah. It's been a good few years since I played. I actually never completed it, but I definitely want to go back. And there was another one for the DS called Recoded, which I think was used to be a mobile game that they ported to the DS, and that one was absolutely terrible.
There was also a 1.5 as well, which incorporated one of the DS games, but they moved it to console like PS2 and Xbox.
Yeah,
then there was a 2.5 and 2.8 as well.
Yeah, in Japan for the PS2 they did like 1.5 and 2.5 that like call it the remix, but then we didn't obviously get it to like the PS3. But now one thing I'm excited about is they put all the games on the PS4. Obviously the remakes at 1.5 and 2.5, because all the DS games, the PSP game, the 3DS game, and 1 and 2 all on the PS4. Because I know there was like 3 different games, or 2 or 3 released on the PlayStation 3, which gave you like the remastered version of those.
Yeah. And see, the thing is, they know, well, Square Enix should know that if they put Kingdom Hearts on a platform, it's going to get bought. People want that game. It's been everyone and their dog's favorite game since they were about 6 years old.
Yeah, it's so good, man. It's like I think like, man, Kingdom Hearts is better than a lot of the Final Fantasy games on their own. Like even like my favorite Final Fantasy would be 4. So like 4 would be in like a high place to me. I wouldn't say 4. Like a lot of people would say that Kingdom Hearts is better than 4. But man, I'd say like Kingdom Hearts 2 is better than Final Fantasy 7, and that's probably going to upset a lot of people. I think Final Fantasy 7 is overrated, but the second Kingdom Hearts is like nearly a perfect game.
Yeah, Kingdom Hearts is what got me into Final Fantasy, because when I first got it, I didn't know what Final Fantasy was. I was too young. But then, from reading character backgrounds and all, I worked out that they were from the Final Fantasy series, or discovered the Final Fantasy series through that. But Kingdom Hearts 2 may actually be one of my favourite games of all time.
So you'd say 2 is the best one?
Yeah, Kingdom Hearts 1 was good. It was a great game, but 2 had the development of the game was immaculate. The ending was perfect. The Roxas storyline at the start was great. The whole thing was just a perfect game in my opinion.
Yeah, I would say so. Like 1 had kind of like a slow start, and it was really really good. But 2 just like everything that like 1 kind of like
failed in, or not failed in, but
yeah,
didn't perform
it was
perfectly.
like 1, like if 2 didn't come out, like I would just say Kingdom Hearts 1 is a perfect game. But this has improved on so many things with the storyline, but even the graphics looked a bit better. And I felt in the first game, when you're kind of on the island and stuff, that was a bit slow. And
getting off the island took so long.
Yeah, that just took too long. And the Final Fantasy characters didn't really show up until like halfway through the game. Whereas
with the original Kingdom Hearts, they were straight in with Cypher, is the name of the guy that's in Twilight Town? I think it was Cypher. There was just loads straight off the bat that were in there.
Because it's been a while since I played the first Kingdom Hearts, but I'm definitely going to replay them all on the PS4. That the first time I noticed one of like the Kingdom Hearts characters that kind of had a big role, it was like who was it? Who was the guy from 8? Leonhardt.
Squall. But he's called Leon in
Squall.
Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, he's called like Leon. When he kind of shot him, that was kind of halfway through. But yeah, 2 definitely. I really like Birth by Sleep as well.
Birth by Sleep, I haven't actually played that one. Was that PS3 or was that DS?
That was PSP, I think.
PSP.
Birth by Sleep will probably be my 3rd favourite in the franchise. It's a prequel.
Oh, right. Oh, is that the one with Aqua and Terra?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, I remember reading about that online. I think that was actually included in one of the remixes.
Yeah, it was.
As an additional storyline. Do you know what the other thing that got me about Kingdom Hearts 2 was that song? And you know the song, everyone knows the song I'm talking about.
Simple and clean. No.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Sanctuary, is it?
Simple and Clean was in the first one, but then the second one also had kind of like a dance remix. But like Simple and Clean is an amazing song.
The background music for Kingdom Hearts franchise just in general is it is perfect. It is great. It's every time I hear those songs, it just brings everything back.
Like the way the first game opens up where like Simple and Clean starts playing, and then and then you get to like just how epic the presentation is, where you get to kind of like choose. Like one of them was like magic, one of them was more defense, and one of them was attack.
Yeah.
When Simple Clean and that kind of like opening video starts, you need to pick you know, which type of, you know, offense, defense, or kind of magic you want to use. Man, I was just sitting there like with my jaw dropped. Oh, but like for the PS2, the graphics, I would say Kingdom Hearts is probably like the best graphics on the PS2.
Oh, by far, anything done by Square Enix though always has their graphic capabilities have always been phenomenally ahead of every other gaming company out there.
Yeah.
Some
Like,
people
like
may think
Final
I'm
Fantasy
chatting
X.
shit, but their graphics are amazing. Oh, that's the one with Titus, isn't it?
Yeah, but I felt that like if you play it on the PS2, kind of the animation scenes are a bit jittery.
Yeah.
They improved it with 10 too. But with Kingdom Hearts, I think by far the best graphics. But
The whole design of the thing was fantastic. I loved how the Disney characters even looked incorporated into this Final Fantasy styled game. They came across so well. Like, you didn't think King Mickey standing near fucking any of the Final Fantasy characters like Squall or Cloud
yeah,
would present so well. Sorry, my lungs are trying to crawl out my throat.
And the original characters in Kingdom Hearts as well, like Sora and Roxas and all them, like they like hold up just as much as the Disney characters and the Final Fantasy characters, if not better.
The story development's great, especially with Riku kind of fucking going. Am I saying that right? It is Riku. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Him kind of going off into the darkness and coming back at the end, like as this not prodigal son kind of, but you know what I mean, where he comes back in glory. That he's been a double agent. Well, not a double agent, but you know what I'm getting at. Just the development of the Kingdom Hearts franchise has just always been fantastic. It's flawless.
Have you played Dream Drop Distance?
No, the only ones I've played is 1, 2, and 300 and whatever the fuck it is over 2.
Yeah, that's good. But I heard Dream Drop Distance, I heard is good. But isn't there a certain game or a character from a DS game? I'm trying to remember the name of it. There was a character from a DS game that was brought in the Dream Drop Distance. So I'm excited to see if that character is obviously implemented into the new game. I think that was The World Ends With You. Was that the name of the game, I think? It was like a really popular DS game that was made by the creator of Kingdom Hearts. But GTA 5 announces a new game mode.
GTA 5, I'm fucking sick of it.
Yeah.
I've pissed off, guarantee hundreds of people now by saying that, but it was fantastic when it came out, but it has been fucking milked.
By far.
Like, less game modes now, guys, we get it, you want to sell your shark cards. It's your biggest game so far, you've made so much fucking money on it, but just release GTA fucking 6, please. Seriously? Like, GTA 5 came out, what, 2013?
Yeah, think about that.
We've been waiting 4 years for you to release a new game, and all you keep throwing at us is DLC.
Yeah, DLC.
Spend the time that you're spending on these DLCs and all these new game modes and new cars on creating a new fucking game, please.
Or even better, get on Bully 2.
Oh, Bully 2, man. Well, they have already confirmed Red Dead 3 is coming out this year, but Bully 2 is another game that fuck off with your GTA 5 DLCs and get Bully 2. I would even play Bully 2 if it was kind of like a more along the lines of not a new school with a new protagonist, but Jimmy in a GTA style. That would be an unreal game. Or actually, if you're going to make a GTA 6, maybe make Jimmy the main character.
Jimmy gets out of school and gets involved in like gangland crime.
Exactly. Imagine how cool that would be.
you know what would be awesome? If like the different main characters from all of the games were in like the same universe and they can interact with each other, and then Jimmy was in it as well. Like people go crazy for that. I remember like there was like rumors, obviously by a lot of people like years ago. Like there was like different rumors of like I think it was when GTA 4 came out that San Andreas was going to be in the map and like all the different like games, all their
Yeah.
maps were going to be on it, and you can be the main protagonist and you can meet up with like CJ and all them.
I think those rumors come around every year though, or not every year, but
Yeah.
every time there's going to be a new GTA or a new Rockstar game, everyone's like, oh, this guy's going to appear in this. Like, remember everyone kind of shit themselves when you could, for your GTA Online character, you could have John Marston as your grandfather to like influence your genes and stuff. But the GTA universe is just one of the most speculated over game things in general. I'm trying to think of the right words to say what I mean here.
Like San Andreas is like known as like one of the most popular, kind of like favorite ones amongst the fans. But like, I actually preferred Scarface on the PS2 over San Andreas. I know it pissed a lot of people off. Like, did you ever play Scarface on the PS2? Man, that's really good.
I remember having it, but not playing it very much because I wasn't very good at it.
The PSP one is terrible. That's more like it's a strategy-based game. The one on the PS2, like, that was so popular at the time, but now people look back, man, it doesn't get the love it deserves. I'll probably say San Andreas is probably better, but you know, when it comes to like, say number 3, that was kind of based on that was based on like Scarface, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Before, yeah, it was a lot better than that, man. I love Scarface on the PS2. But Windows announced a revamped game mode.
Yeah, for any of the PC gamers listening to this, you know, Windows 10 was supposedly developed to help people with kind of lower spec systems be able to run games a bit better, but that kind of fell through in its ass, especially when they stopped you being able to play older disc games because of security fucking errors and shit. But with their new update, they're releasing their game mode. Well, with their next update, not the one that came out with Creator, but with the next update, you're going to get a new revamped game mode, which is supposedly going to help even further. It's going to focus more of the system resources to running games, and you'll be able to launch this game mode from the game bar that appears when you launch a game on Windows 10, which was one of the worst installs of my life. But
It's like a tablet.
What?
Yeah, they kind of went for like the tablet way of things. They're going from like Windows 7 to Windows 10. It's just like so confusing.
Yeah, the whole system kind of fucked up. Windows 7, you could play whatever you wanted. You didn't have to worry. Discs would load fine. And then everyone updated to Windows 10 because Microsoft were saying this is going to be fantastic. This is going to revamp it. Your games are going to be perfect. And then you can't play half of the old games that you bought.
Yeah.
Because of this fucking security error.
Windows 7. Because even with the retro PC games, a lot of them actually will run on Windows 7 when you bring it to 10. And it's just like a pain in the ass. But I know a lot of like PC gamers that are sticking to Windows 7 just because the issues with running games on Windows 10.
Well, hopefully this will resolve a lot of the problems anyway with the new game mode update. Hopefully it'll allow some of the older games to be played again.
Yeah. But then there's a lot of people who just use Steam.
Yes, the Steam platform I suppose kind of rectifies a lot of the problems.
Because if you have all your games on there, then you know it's gonna run if you're getting it from there. But it's obviously when you're using like physical media, then it becomes like a problem.
Yeah, and I suppose Steam is always well developed with the Steam links that you can connect to TVs and play with a controller and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I suppose now that I think about it, Steam does kind of save Microsoft's ass in this case. They definitely have came to the rescue.
Yeah, because I think like Steam is good in a way, because you know with like the PS4, the Xbox One, there's like the online community you can play with friends.
Yeah.
But Steam, that just makes it easy. Because buying the games physically, you can still play with your friends online, but like on Steam, just easy. Just message them, you can see that they're playing the game, and then you can enjoy the game. It's just the platform, it does kind of save Windows 10 the kind of problems that they're having there. But for the most part, I don't really know anyone who actually buys physical for PC games.
I haven't bought a physical game for a PC in fucking ages. Even my little brother was using stuff like Humble Bundle, etc. To buy PC games. Humble Bundle is actually a fantastic resource, actually, now that I think about it. Let's have a look, see what they have up.
When Humble Bundle 4 started, some of the games you can get, like Arkham City and Arkham Asylum and all the DLC for like $1.
Had Civilizations and Total War and stuff like that all came out as well.
But I think nowadays the games aren't as good now, and they're like charging more. Like you have to pay like the average price now, and Now that's so popular, the average price is going up and it's quite expensive. But it's still like a good deal if you want to get like a lot of games digitally for a cheap price.
Yeah, to anyone that is listening, if you do want to get bundles of games for less than they actually cost, not remarket, on the market, Humble Bundle is a fantastic resource. You mightn't always get the game you want, but you will get some decent games for fucking dirt cheap.
So we want to get on the last two segments, video games and anime that we've been playing and watching.
Anime that I am watching at the minute. My to watch list and currently watching list on my anime list is fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
But let's see, I've started watching Cowboy Bebop and I'm most of the way through it, and I think it's fucking unreal. The whole noir elements of Cowboy Bebop are great.
Do you remember the anime channel was around back in the day in Ireland and the UK?
The anime channel, that is old now, man. That got cancelled. When did that go off air?
Like years and years ago, but I remember that's how I found Cowboy Bebop. That it was only at night time, I think, that it was after one channel ended, the anime channel would be on, and that would go on like through all hours of the night. And then in between the ads, they would have like these cosplayers and stuff like that from like different conventions in like the UK. Yeah. They would like talk about like Bleach and stuff like that. But that's how I start watching things like Cowboy Bebop and all of the old animes. But that's gone, I think, more than 10 years now, isn't it?
I know the only time you see anime really on TV now is Film 4 do an anime season every so often, where they just go through a load of Ghibli movies. And the Sci-Fi channel, for anyone in the UK that has Sky, does play anime the odd time. Not very often, but a couple of times a year they would play a few different anime movies or series, but it's not the kind of thing that you can rely on constantly.
Yeah, I know with Sci-Fi that the first time I watched Akira and Spirited Away, it was on that channel.
Yeah.
But like thinking about it, an honorable mention that I wish I gave out when we're doing that list is the first time I ever heard the anime Inuyasha was on the anime channel.
That was done by Studio Pierrot. No, it was the same guy that wrote. Oh, where am I? There's a connection to Naruto and Inuyasha in my head. I think it was Studio Pierrot released it, but it was like their first big hit as an anime studio.
Yeah. I think for me, like what animes I'm watching, I'm gonna like give anything that like is kind of like anime or anime inspired. I'm gonna add on the list. I watched Ruby or RWBY. I wasn't impressed by it. Everyone told me that it doesn't get good till like season 3, so I'm gonna keep on watching it. The first season, you know, they're only starting off. The animation gets better later on. I didn't think the storyline was better, and just the kind of like the second season, but I just didn't see the hype there. I watched the 4 episodes of Castlevania, which was absolutely brilliant. Everyone loves Trevor Belmont. He's an amazing character, and Alucard, he kind of comes back near the end. It's only 4 episodes long, and everyone's really excited for season 2.
That's what I was actually going to mention Alucard there when you mentioned Castlevania. When you mentioned Trevor Belmont, I was going to say I preferred Alucard in the series, in the games. Like I haven't actually watched the anime series or anime inspired series yet.
Yeah, like in general, Alucard is a well better character, but it's only in the Castlevania like inspired anime thing that is on Netflix. No, it's not anime, but it's very anime inspired. That just the way they did Trevor Belmont was absolutely amazing. Just kind of like funny dickhead character that's a bit of an alcoholic that gets in fights. He doesn't really want to save the humans, but he does it anyway. And Alucard kind of comes in near the end. And I think that Alucard is much better in the games than he is in the show, but he doesn't really come into the end because obviously Castlevania Symphony of the Night is one of my favorite games of all time.
And have you got anything else that you're currently watching anime-wise? Like you haven't gone back on, you aren't watching any seasonal anime, are you?
No, but I definitely want to get back on that. But games-wise, playing a lot of retro stuff like Sonic 1 on the Sega Mega Drive collection, Smash Bros on the Wii.
Smash Bros.
Yeah, I'm making some GameCube controllers for that. What else am I playing? Street Fighter 2.
Well, you're getting very retro with what you're playing these days, man. I've just been on a nerd buzz playing Mountain Blade.
I'll probably have to give a shout out to this because they'd probably give me shit if I didn't, because I promised them I'd plug the 8-Bit Gaming Conference in Dublin on the 24th, 22nd of October 2017 in Dublin. That's why I'm playing a lot of retro.
For any of the listeners, Nate is, if you're looking for information on a con in Ireland, Nate is the guy you ask for the information on it because he's either organising it or is best friends with the people who are
or
organising it.
helping in some sort of way, or doing something. But there's going to be a Street Fighter 2 tournament in the Woolshed next Saturday, which I think is the 27th or 28th of August, which is the same day slash kind of like the same day slash night of the McGregor slash Mayweather fight. If anyone wants to attend that. But that's the reason why I'm playing Street Fighter 2, because there's a tournament for that next weekend, which is connected to the 8-bit con. But yeah, if anyone didn't know, I just work with anime, cosplay, and gaming conventions.
And if you have any requests for Nate about cons or want information, you can message our Facebook page, which is the same name, The Last Outlaws on Facebook, or at Last Outlaws IRE on Twitter if you have any kind of Irish con related questions.
Or UK or the US, man. I kind of like follow a lot of them.
Well, see, Nate is I know this is a terrible term, but Nate is the con man.
Yeah.
he
Or they
knows
call me
all
King
this
Con. Like someone called me that today.
shit. King Con? Oh, that's a nice one. That's your nickname from now on. I'm changing your name on Facebook on my phone and all to King Con now, man.
But I guess that's the first episode.
Yeah, that's the first episode. We kind of went rambly there for a long time. I didn't expect us to talk for over an hour and a half.
I'm happy with this long, so I was like, this is going to go for half an hour.
Yeah, no,
But
I'm
now we're
glad we
actually
were
like
able
full
to
podcast length.
Yeah, we got proper discussions on different topics and fleshed everything out. And for anyone that's managed to stick through this long, listening to
They
all
will.
our voices,
They will.
thank you so much, people.
And in the next episodes, we'll hopefully get a lot of guests along, do some interesting stuff, and hopefully this first episode will give you an idea what's to come.
Yeah, this is just the ground. We are intending on trying to get people in the interview from from animes if we can, from comic books, just people involved in this kind of like gaming, anime, comic kind of industries.
Nerd culture.
And if nerd culture is the word I was looking for there. Thanks. Anyone in nerd culture, and if you have anyone that you'd like to see us talk to, or anyone that you think would like to talk to us, let us know on Twitter and Facebook, and we'll see what we can do for you guys. But Nate, have you got a closing statement?
This is Nate, N to the A to the T to the E, Aureus.